Hello everyone, welcome to the video. Today I will give you some tricks and tips regarding task 1 that if you copy these things in your writing, then it is sure that you will score a band above 8. These things I am sharing from my own personal experience, and my scores also were stuck at a score below 8, and after practicing these things I scored above 8, and today I am there to share these things with you. So basically today we will discuss one bar chart of the IELTS task 1, and I will show you the way in which you should attempt, and you can copy the same way in each and every task 1 for getting a very good band score. So here is a chart given on your screens. First of all, you all have 1 minute to analyze this chart and grab the idea about this chart, that what the chart is about. Your time starts now. Okay, so I guess all of you have understood the chart. Now, after looking at the chart, first of all, we get to know that there we are given two things. One portion is for males and the other one is for females. So, the first trick is whenever you start writing, before starting to write, plan your task. Always brainstorm your ideas that you are going and you are wishing to write in your task 1. Like, first of all, whenever you get the sheet of the task 1, first of all look at the indicators. For example, here the data is about males and females. The black bars are for the full-time education and the grey bars stand for the part-time education, and the time period is of 3 different years: 1970 to 71, 80 to 81, 90 to 91. Same is for the female section. And on the y-axis of our chart, the calibration or the measurement of the data is in the form of thousands. There we are given the values: 200, 400,000, 600. So basically we have to write that how much men were employed in full time and part time, how many females were employed in full time or part time education. And there is one more thing, that they are in further education. So we are given the number of the further education students: higher education students, college students, university students. Now, looking about the striking features, whenever you write, try to write a different answer, because if you are copying the details as it is from the chart to down the report, then it will be just a mimicry of that. Rather than this, always try to use some interesting language and interesting features. For example, you can see here that in case of full-time education among males, the graph is constantly increasing. For females, it had a quite big jump from 71 to 81, and then it slightly increased. Now, in case of the part-time education for the females, the ratio is constantly increasing, while for males there is a slight fluctuation. So these things are the striking feature, these things are the interesting things about the graph that you can mention in the report to get a good score for a different language. These things should be expressed in a very good manner so that you can score a good band score. Now coming to the introduction, so our statement is the chart below shows the number of men and women in further education in Britain in 3 periods and whether they were studying full time or part time. So we can form an introduction like the bar chart illustrates the number of males and females engaged in further education in Britain. It shows whether they were studying full time or part time and is divided into 3 periods. Now coming to the rest of the answer of this chart, overall the number of men and women studying part-time outnumbered those studying full-time by a significant margin. While both modes were relatively similar between the sexes, there was some variance, especially in 1990s when the number of women studying part-time increased substantially. So in this overall we have given all the interesting features that at the first glance we saw in the chart. First of all, we wrote that the outnumbered, it means that the number of full time are less while the part time are more. The next thing we wrote that modes were similar, that for both males and females the movement of trends was similar, but there was some variance, there were some changes, like when during 1990s the number of women studying part-time increased substantially. I told you that the number of females for part-time increased continuously, that means it increased substantially. Now coming to BP1, with regards to full-time education, male students approximately doubled from around 100,000 in 1970 to well over 200,000 by the end of 1991. For women, the trajectory was less consistent, rising sharply in the first decade and then tapering off to an almost identical level to that of men in the 1990s. The number of males engaged in part-time study over 3 periods fluctuated, dropping from approximately 1 million to 900,000 over the 3 periods. Meanwhile, the females studying part-time steadily increased from nearly 800,000 in 1970 to 1971 to well above 1 million in 1990 to 1991. So this is the model answer of this. So the first tip that you need to copy is spend a minute understanding the graph. I showed you that how you can analyze the chart and look for the indicators. The second is describe the key features only. Never ever run behind describing all the content. In task achievement section, the examiner only looks at whether you are describing the significant things or not. So describe key features only, and that too should be defined. The next thing is plan your structure before you write. That means the coherence and cohesion part of our writing. So in coherence and cohesion for band 8, if we see the band chart, it is written that sequences information and ideas logically, manages all aspects of cohesion well, uses paragraphing sufficiently and appropriately. So the first thing is we have to sequence our information and ideas logically, that there should be a proper sequence that is being followed. Next, manage all aspects of cohesion, that is the linking. The next thing is uses paragraphing means the structure. Now in the model answer you can see that in the introduction, first of all I wrote the bar chart. In the second sentence I wrote it, that means noun to pronoun conversion. This is the cohesion. Then for males and females I wrote they. This is also a cohesion because it is following a flow. There is a pattern, noun to pronoun conversion. Now in the overall, the number of men and women, we converted into those. After that we connected the sentence with the help of while. There was some variance, especially in, when. So these all are the important things. Here while and when are the two subordinate clauses. I have posted a video about subordinate clauses earlier for the task 2. Now next thing is, the fourth thing is consider your sentence before you write it. That means before you start to write, you should plan your sentence. Never ever just start writing after looking at the image directly, because when you are not planned about something you cannot write it properly, and if you write a wrong sentence then you will have to waste time by erasing and rethinking about the sentence. So whenever you start writing, take out 1.5 minutes before you write for the planning. Now coming to our next portion of the band chart, it is the lexical resource. That means vocabulary. For 8 bands we can see here it is written uses a wide range of vocabulary fluently and flexibly to convey precise meanings. Wide range of vocabulary means good words and good synonyms. Skillfully uses uncommon lexical items, but there may be occasional inaccuracies in word choice and collocation. Produces rare errors in spellings and or word formation. So rare errors, with this the examiner means that no doubt there are mistakes in spellings, but they should be rare, like 2 out of 10 spellings can be wrong. More than this will cause a score down to 6 or 7. The next thing is that if you are repeating a word, think of a synonym. That means for this chart, if I say, if we write the number of men, the number of men, the number of men, so in every sentence there will be one thing repeated, the number of men, the number of men, the number of men. So think about a synonym of this, and synonym too must be related. If the synonym is also wrong, then it will also cause a score down to lower bands. For example, we can say that there are 3 animals: donkey, horse and a mule. There is a difference between all the 3. We cannot say that they are the synonyms of one another. Similarly, for males, young adults, teenagers, these all things vary. They are different from each other. So before you use a synonym, properly analyze that whether it is suitable or not. So the next thing is only use words you know 100%. Never use remembered word, because on the answer sheet of your IELTS task, writing task, there will be a column provided at the downside of the sheet that will be marked as memorized. So if you use memorized things, examiner will cut marks in that column. Now coming to the next thing, that is grammatical range and accuracy. This is the most important part of the writing. Grammatical range and accuracy. For 8 bands, it is written, uses a wide range of structures. The majority of sentences are error free, makes only very occasional errors or inappropriate. So the first thing is wide range of structures, that means grammatical range. The next thing is majority of sentences are correct, that means the grammatical range is more important than accuracy. No doubt your grammatical accuracy is 9 band in your writing task, but if your range of sentences is less, then it will cause a problem. So always try to use a wide variety. That means you should use the subordinate clauses. I repeat, please do watch another video I have done on the task 2. In that I have given the information about subordinate clauses. You guys can watch that video and clarify your doubts. With the help of subordinate clauses, you can create infinite complex sentences. Now, for example, in this answer, if I show you, I am repeating something. I have used just 3 sentence structure like the bar chart shows. Then I changed it in the form of illustrates and depicts. Then there are more men, there were more women studying. Overall, there are only small differences. I repeated 3 times. Next, the number increased, the number decreased, the number fluctuated. So this is a limited range of grammatical range. So if I use these things, then the score for grammatical range and accuracy will be just 4. Now coming to the next picture, in this you can see first I used weather, then I used while in the overall, when, and the last one is meanwhile. So these are the subordinate clauses that are making my writing complex. So just this thing you have to copy in your task. Just you need to copy the subordinate clauses, whether, while, when, although, if, even though. There are many subordinate clauses that have been already mentioned in one of my previous videos. I guess the video that I posted before this video. In that only I have given information about subordinate clauses. So this was the proper explanation of the things that you need to copy on your test day in your task, so that you can get a score above 8. I hope you liked the content, and if you have any doubt or any query, you can post a comment down in the comment section. Thank you for watching the video.